You have a mentor in Christianity?
When I was a big Christian Scientist. I don't know if you guys have heard of the Christian Science.
You're not paying this, man.
Are you serious?
Yeah. Have you heard of Christian Science?
Church
Christian
of Scientology?
Christian Science, not Scientology. See,
Are you a Scientologist?
Bro, Dianetics, I hate that shit. Scientology, I don't fuck with Scientology. Christian Science is normal Christianity with a lady named Mary Baker Eddy. And she was a great woman. I mean, she really just gave Jesus his teachings much better. Look into it.
Why
Christian
is science, though, involved with Christianity? I'm confused.
Because there's a method, there's a logic, and it's not bullshit. You know what I mean?
I understand now.
Right.
I understand every facet
Do you
of
believe
Christian
in
Science.
God?
And really,
Clear it up for
guys,
me.
Christian Science is not that mainstream. Leo, you might not know what it is.
Well, just tell us like why it's. Tell us exactly how it's different than Christianity.
It's a religion for the elites. I'm not going to be.
There was a Christian Science church by in Studio
We
City.
say we want to join Scientology
Why?
for like a day.
We
fuck Tom
want to
Cruise?
infiltrate and fuck them on
wow.
camera for OnlyFans because it's never been done before.
They come up to us on Hollywood Boulevard all the time.
Oh,
We've
wow.
actually
even just for like a week, a couple days, like
we've looked into buying like the little uniforms. They
we
wear
would
and
be the
getting
type that would
fucked
join
in
a
them,
cult.
but they might come after us and we might go missing. after
They
that.
are scary.
They're
we
real
don't know who they are.
If we were in the 60s and 70s, we would have joined a cult. I feel
Oh, for
like.
sure. We would have been one of the Manson girls.
Mansons.
Yeah, I just know
cute.
that.
Yeah, that's just crazy. I'm doing some research right now for a project we're doing, and I'm reading about Joseph Smith and Mormonism. And he's one of those guys he was a good-looking guy who was good with people,
Right.
complete con artist, but he just believed in himself so much. And I'm sure this has happened to you girls. And it's happened to me when I didn't have a penny to my name and I was living with my parents. But sometimes if you're just having a good night and you're in the zone, you're just saying all the right things and your energy's right. And you can charm a woman way out of your league.
Absolutely.
Well, Joseph Smith and Charlie Manson, they had the ability to do that.
Yeah, cult leaders are always really good with people.
Charismatic.
Yeah.
And Joseph Smith, despite being like having to go to court for being a treasure digging fraud, he would take peepstones around and say he could find buried silver. Well, after several people paid him a bunch of money to locate lost silver mines and he couldn't find a fucking scrap of silver for any of them, they hauled his ass to court and he had to pay reparations. What's his next discovery? The golden plates that contained the Book of Mormon, of course. He chose a more lucrative business than finding silver. He started a religion. And of course, he's just such a charismatic guy. Everybody fucking hopped on board. People were dying for him. The chicks were fucking him. He had like 16 wives and a bunch of babies.
But let's be honest, though, Mormons are pretty based, right?
You know, based meaning they're conservative.
Well, they're cool, yeah.
I don't fuck with Mormons.
Why not?
I saw a documentary on Netflix that basically was.
Yeah, dude.
I
was
grew
really
up with
disturbing.
Mormons. I grew up with
You grew up with the
Mormons.
Amish, I
No,
thought.
so
The Amish.
I'm from we're Amish people, but one of my best friends growing up, all throughout elementary school, middle school, and even into high school, she was Mormon, and it was always really freaky going over to her house because like their whole family. Well, first off, there were like 10 children, and they would all like look me up and down. I got in trouble one time because my bathing suit bottoms were showing too much ass, and they sent me this whole like paragraphs and paragraphs after I left, and they were like, you know, you're better than that. Like, you need to cover up more, blah, blah, blah. And I think that actually might be why I got into porn. I'm a little bit traumatized by the
That
Mormons.
is the best.
Oh, wow.
They
Dad
are,
wanted to fuck shit out of
they're,
me.
I don't like
they're
Mormons that
hypocrites
much,
though,
honestly.
because
I don't know that much
they're
about them.
hypocrites because you know that part of being a Mormon is just banging a lot of fucking different chicks all the
Remember
time.
the Mormon TikTok
Yeah.
drama with the mom?
Yes.
That was so fun.
Yeah, the fundamentalist Mormon church. So I think around the early 1900s, the Mormons were still practicing plural marriage. So the dudes would basically, that was the point of the religion. It's like a lot of people said the point of Catholicism was just to fuck a bunch of young boys. They were somewhat joking, but Mormonism, that really seemed like the big perk, is dudes got to just dominate a village and fuck like 16 chicks. Well, the U.S. government started raiding Utah and fucking with them. And they realized like, I don't know, it's sort of like YouTube today. Like if YouTube gives you a couple strikes and it's like, hey, fucking straighten up or we're going to ban you from the platform, you've got to play ball or disappear. Well, the Mormon church decided to play ball and they're like, we'll get rid of the polygamy thing. I'm sorry. Joseph Smith said to do it, but okay, yeah, we're done. No more. However, a bunch of people broke off into places like Arizona and Canada and Mexico, and they call it FD, Fundamental FLDS,
The
Fundamental
FLDS,
Latter-day
yeah.
Saints.
Oh, wow.
And they are still doing plural marriage, and it's super gnarly.
It's
They're
disgusting.
really
So,
inbred.
They're
Yeah.
fucking their daughters.
Dang.
Dude.
We
Right.
could,
Yeah, that's gross, man.
It's pretty fucked.
if you
So it's
search
banned in
LDS,
Utah.
like the Leo and Danny show, a bunch of Mormon stuff shows up.
Nice.
That's good.
Well, we're driving people towards the light.
Yeah.
That's good. And plural marriage. Yeah, it's an issue. And then now, speaking of them being based, King Croc, them being conservative, it's actually pretty funny. A couple of people I saw on YouTube are leaving Mormonism because it's not based enough.
Oh, wow.
So even
Are they going
Where are they going?
woke,
They
too?
going to the Muslim religion?
maybe, yeah, where women
more
can't
based.
drive.
It's more
Women-
based.
These girls that have their heads cut off are wearing these
Oh, God.
outfits.
God.
You haven't had-
There you go. I got a Muslim kid stoned.
Oh hell yeah! Was it?
Well,
I
you're
mean,
also going to hell, Danny. I just want you to know that.
Is that how it works? Have you read the Quran?
Yes, sir.
No, you haven't.
Dude, I've read all the hadiths. I've read all that shit.
Okay,
The
tell me a little bit
Hadiths?
about Islam.
Well,
What are the 5 pillars of Islam?
that's not a real thing.
Yes, it is.
There's no such thing as the 5 pillars of
There absolutely are. Dude, I took Middle Eastern history classes in
You
college
tell me one of the
because they were
pillars.
easy.
of the so-called 5 pillars of Islam.
Well, let me go. So the first one this is what you need to do to become a Muslim. That's what
Okay.
I'm talking about. Do
Okay.
you know? So it sounds like you don't know at all.
No, I know exactly what
Well, yeah,
that is.
tell me
I'm
what you
trying
got to
see-
do to become a Muslim.
I'm trying to see if you know.
Okay, we'll go one after another.
Okay, you go
You
first.
must declare that there is no God but Allah and Muhammad is his prophet. You're up.
And then you must pray 4 times a day.
I think that might be I think it's 5 times a day.
Yeah.
Towards
but
Mecca, right?
if
Yes.
you're under 10 years old, it's only 4 times.
Okay, and then you got to give 10% of your income to charity.
And then you can't eat pork.
That's not a pillar of Islam. That's not a pillar of Islam.
Danny, you really know Islam or not?
Yeah, dude, because it was the easiest subject at UCLA in the
Yeah.
history department, I would always take the classes.
Damn.
Mr. Peterberg.
Smart.
Mr. Peterberg.
That's why I took a lot of
was the
Chicano
shit.
studies. I took a lot of Chicano studies at Valley College because it was the easiest. And,
Yeah.
Yeah, my father was Muslim, so I was half Muslim growing up, but I never studied. I went to mosque a bunch of times, but
I know more about Islam than you do, you piece of garbage.
maybe.
Well,
But at the same time, I'm a Christian.
Why aren't
You know
you
what I mean? So
Islam
why would I
your
study
way?
the enemy? I'm just kidding. They're
Yeah.
not my enemies.
Whoa.
Yeah.
But they're not my enemies.
Yeah, God was
But-
looking at you and nodding approvingly when Kazumi jacked you off in the bathroom.
Listen, buddy.
we all sin, brother.
The God. There's only one God. Up there, and you know, and he's not very happy with you. And